Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 innocent photos with creepy backstories. Chances are, either in an old box, on our phone or computer, or on our cameras, we have a ton of photos. Most people take photos the whole time, but rarely look at them in great detail. Well, here are some images that seem perfectly innocent at a first glance, but have a very creepy backstory to them. Before you get too scared, be sure to press the subscribe button and the notification bell too. Coming in at number 10, we have Family Outing. In 2015, a family from the UK went to Leeds Castle. It's an old historic site and has a large park that many people enjoy. While they were out and about, they took some photos to remember the great day. On the image taken by the dad of the two kids is Ryan, who's 9, and Marion, who's 11. They snapped the photo, however, when they got home and looked at it, they saw something that sent a chill down their spine. In the background appears to be a ghostly silhouette of a woman. You might think it was just a woman who was visiting that day. However, the family all say they were alone when the image was taken. Not only that, the castle is known for ghosts, and once you know its history, this all makes sense. There were over 100 beheadings at this place, which used to be used by the royal family hundreds of years ago. So, could this be the ghostly past wife of Henry VIII? Next up is Columbine class picture. We all know the terrible thing that took place at Columbine High School in 1999. The incident where Dylan Klebold and Eric Harris went into their school and shot at people, taking 13 lives and injuring a further 24. It's since gone down as one of the worst crimes in US history. Now that is awful, but the students and parents of those at Columbine were shocked when they took a second look at their class photo. The yearbooks and photos had been given out weeks before the incident. However, what nobody picked up on was a scary omen the shooters left in the image. If you look up in the top left corner, you'll see the shooters making shooting gestures with their hands at the camera. This is what some people just do as a joke in photos, so nobody thought anything of it. However, after the incident, it serves as a very creepy piece of evidence of them planning to shoot up the school. Next up is Girl in the Field. In 2017, a mom named Bianca Dickinson was snapping photos of her 2-year-old daughter in a field. However, this was taken in Australia, and we all know that in Australia, a dangerous animal is never far. As she was taking the photo, she thought she saw some tree bark, but she then looked up and it had moved. She soon learned it was actually a large venomous snake right by her daughter. It was close enough to easily bite or wrap itself around her, leading to certain doom. She wanted to run and scream to save her daughter, but she remembered the best way to avoid annoying a snake is to stay calm. Both her and her daughter remained calm and quiet, and thankfully the snake slid away. The snake was a king brown, which is very rare in Australia and is actually one of the most venomous and dangerous snakes in the entire world. This seems like a cute photo at first, but it's actually a near-fatal experience. Next up is party. Many people take photos at parties. However, unless you've been drinking too much, usually they aren't too scary. Well, this is not the case for one image of a house party by Tyler Hadley. It was at his own party and the photo seems totally normal, as it's just him and his friend. The image was taken about 2 hours into the night after the party invite was sent out on Facebook. However, 4 hours into the night, with a house filled with 40 to 60 people, a guy and a girl were getting busy and needed a room. They opened the door of Tyler's parents' room and were shocked to see their bodies laying on the floor. You see, before the party, Tyler had taken both of his parents' lives with a framing hammer. Word quickly spread around the party and people freaked out and ran away. Tyler is now serving life in prison for his crime, but his photo still gives many people the creeps. Next up is Man in the Woods. This image seems nice and wholesome at first. It's just a smiling man in the woods and nothing looks untoward. However, this turned out to be the man's final self-taken photo. The picture is of Chris McCandless after he ventured out into the Alaskan wilderness to go camping. However, he went missing for days, and since he never told anyone where he was going, nobody noticed he was gone. He was found a few days later by a camper. He had starved and looked like a skeleton with a crazy grin on his face. Now that must have really given the camper who found him the creeps, but his photo still haunts the millions of people who have seen it online, as it went viral. Next up is Taken. Usually photos of kids are the most innocent, but as we proved with the image of the girl and the snake, this is not the case. This one is an image taken by a security camera at a mall. It shows one 2-year-old boy being led off by two 10-year-old boys. The 2-year-old boy is James Bolger, and the two kids leading him off are John Venables and Robert Thompson. John and Robert had skipped school that day, as they often did, and went to the mall. When James's mother was buying meat from a butcher's and her back was turned, they convinced James to come with them. They then took James to a remote location where they hit him with rocks and left him on some train tracks. James's body was later found, and the crime has since gone down as one of the worst in British history. John and Robert were each sentenced to 8 years behind bars and became Britain's youngest life takers. Next up is John Lennon fan. We all know that John Lennon was a member of the iconic band The Beatles. However, Lennon had his life cut short by a man named Mark David Chapman in 1980. But the scary thing was that just hours before Mark shot him, somebody took a photo of him asking Lennon to sign an autograph for him. Lennon signed it and said, "Is that okay?" Mark then smiled and backed away. Hours later he returned, and as Lennon was entering his hotel, he shot him. Mark made no attempt to flee and simply waited for the police to arrive and arrest him. Next up is Volcano Eruption. This image seems innocent at first, and perhaps you can't even tell what it really is. The image was taken by Robert Landsberg, who was an avid photographer. On May 18th, 1980, he was going up to Washington's Mount St. Helens. However, as he was driving up, it erupted, causing the biggest volcanic event in US history. One can only assume he didn't realize the danger he was in when he snapped an image of it before trying to escape in his car. He didn't survive, but his camera did, along with this haunting photo. Next up is clowns. Clowns creep out a lot of people, especially after the It movie was released in 2017. However, most clowns are just normal entertainers used for kids' parties. That was what friends, family, and clients thought John Wayne Gacy was. This is an image of him as his clown character Bozo the Clown. However, the family man had a secret life nobody knew about. He took the lives of over 30 boys until he was caught in 1978. Nobody saw it coming, and it made the photos of him dressed up as Bozo suddenly very, very sinister. Next up is shower. This is another haunting final photo, but this one has a twist. This image was not self-taken, but taken by the person who took the subject's life. Travis Alexander had just hopped out of the shower when his then girlfriend Jodi Arias snapped a quick portrait of him. She then took his life right after. A few days later, his friends found his body at his home in the shower with many knife wounds and a shot in his head. They called the police and there was a lengthy investigation. However, this image eventually proved that it was in fact Jodi who took his life. If you look closely, you can see her reflection in the eyes of Travis in the photo, making this a very creepy final photo. This proved Jodi was there at the time, and the timestamp on the photo confirmed when she had taken his life. Check out the poll in the top right corner to vote for the creepiest photo on this list. And guys, be sure to check out my second channel, The Crafty. There'll be a video for The Crafty coming up on screen in a second, so click it and subscribe too. But as always, thanks for watching. Check out some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.